million. It is a lot of money. It doesn't just sound like it in the National Football League. That's a lot of money. However, Aaron Rodgers making more per year than Patrick Mahomes. Kyler Murray making more per year than Patrick Mahomes. Deshaun Watson making more per year than Patrick Mahomes. Soon to be very likely Lamar Jackson making more per year than Patrick Mahomes. Should Patrick Mahomes regret a deal that long?
No. I think this is perfect for Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes got paid, but he also gave himself enough flexibility to do what he needs to do to be recognized as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. We recognize Tom Brady as being the GOAT, not because of how much money he has made throughout his career, but how much he wins and how often he wins. Well, Pat Mahomes has signed a deal that gives the Kansas City Chiefs the flexibility to ensure that he is able to consistently win. Because the one thing that we know about these long deals when it comes to quarterbacks, they always go back to the quarterback to redo the deal when they need to sign some other people. So that built-in flexibility gives the Kansas City Chiefs an opportunity to continue to sign in marquee players to surround Pat Mahomes with. And so as Pat Mahomes gets older, he's going to need better players around him. That money is there available for the Chiefs to be able to spend it. No, it's a smart move for him because he got paid, he has security, but he also has enough flexibility to continue to have an excellent team around him.
Common misconception, though, with Tom Brady. People talk about it, they joke about it, but in all seriousness, Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, net worth of $400 million. Average annual income, it ranges anywhere from $30 to $75 million, depending on what sites you look. So Tom Brady has the luxury of leaving some more money on the table because the Brady family, if you will collectively net $100 million a year, regardless of what Tom Brady pulls. I can't speak for Patrick Mahomes' wife nor his brother, but I don't know that TikTok is supplying the income to that family like Giselle is, with the legitimized, as it stands thus far, profession over the course of years. So, Joy, what do you say in regards to Patrick Mahomes, that 10-year, $450 million deal?
Well, first of all, I completely agree with Bucky. There's urgency and then there's legacy when it comes to contracts. He is in legacy stage. That's why he signed this contract, and that's what he's talking about when he's responding to the criticisms of this contract. He is thinking big picture. He's thinking, how can I put myself in another air, in a space with the greatest to ever do it, so that when my career is over, I can live off of that legacy as well as the money that I've made. Because $450 million is a lot of money. It's not like he's being cheated here. He's making an average annual salary of $45 million. He also makes approximately $20 million away from the field each year in endorsements. He has some pretty big ones. State Farm, EA Sports, Adidas, DirecTV, Head & Shoulders. Pretty big companies who are endorsing Patrick Mahomes. So math, not my thing, but that's around $65 million a year. That's a good living. 10 years. He has the flexibility with the organization to rework his contract. They can bring in other players. They have the flexibility to sign other big players. When your legacy grows, that money outside of what you're getting in a check grows. Are billionaires being critical of this contract? Because that's kind of, no, okay. So that's my thing. If you are not making $450 million, then being critical of signing a deal for $450 million, like, okay, sure. That's how you do it, I'm sure. Trees don't grow to the sky in a salary cap league. We know the next man up is going to get a little bit more, and then as the salary cap goes up, the next person will get a little bit more. Whether they are worth that or Patrick Mahomes is worth more than another quarterback is really an argument in semantics. He's being paid. He's just playing chess, not checkers.
Let's have a real conversation, and let's go somewhere other places will not. Let's talk about egos. Let's talk about pride. Bucky, I know for certain you can talk about it. Joy, I would assume you can as well. The reason I know for certain, Bucky, you and I shared those locker rooms where egos run rampant. Joy, I would assume you've lived a life amongst people that can relate. I don't care if I'm playing the long game. I don't care if I'm playing chess. I care about making more than you if I'm better than you at what I do. I care about making more than you if you are not as good at the exact same job as me. I get chess, I get checkers, I get Uno, I get all the games in the world. But what I really need to get is more money than you, Deshaun Watson, if I'm a better player than you, Deshaun Watson. More money than you, Kyler Murray, if I'm a better player than you, Kyler Murray. 3 years, 4 names. It took 3 years for 4 names to surpass Kyler Murray on that list because Lamar Jackson is coming. To pass Patrick Mahomes on that list because Lamar Jackson is coming. Imagine what other names will pass him in 3 years. I can throw some out. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. We can throw some out. So I don't know if Patrick Mahomes can just sit there, Joy, playing chess, watching a whole bunch of quarterbacks that cannot even tie his shoelace, pass him up on daily bread.
Can't tie his shoelace?
Justin Herbert can't tie Patrick Mahomes' shoelace.
Okay, no, look, all right, whew, hold on. They're not like some bums that
They're
are
not,
getting paid.
but comparatively, Kyler Murray compared to Patrick Mahomes, comparatively, is a bum. Patrick Mahomes.
No, he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes.
Comparatively.
He's not as accomplished as Patrick Mahomes, but he's also not signing a 10-year deal. The reason that this deal is unique is because of the length of it. The conversations around Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray are skewed because of this deal. Because people are like, well, Lamar Jackson's not going to be able to run in 10 years. Well, you don't have him under a 10-year deal, so who cares what he does in 10 years? As I've said, we might not have beaches in 10 years. You're worried about the next 4 years, 4 to 5 years. That's what you're worried about. The Chiefs are not worried about that because they know what Patrick Mahomes is.
You caught me on the wrong day because I'm just coming out of my yoga class, so I'm so focused on my mat. I can't even tell what everyone else is doing. I'm in Warrior too, so that's what I'm Pat Mahomes. I'm not worried about everybody else stressed out. Like, you have $450 million that hit the account over a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
Like, unless you somehow trick that off, why are you even worried about what those other people are doing? I'm not in competition to see if my bank account is bigger than Joy's bank account.
No. Listen,
we're good.
You asked about ego, and I will answer that question specifically.
Thank you, because y'all fronting right now way too heavy.
I don't know how men get through the day with y'all egos. Okay, so that I will just say that this is different. I'm not wired that way. I don't have the luxury of being wired that way, which I can also say. So I don't understand that kind of mentality and that thing inside. But I don't also believe that everyone is wired that way. I think I do believe, I know some people are capable of separating that kind of raging ego from the reality in which they live.
To me, it's not even raging, right? Like, I don't want to use the hyperbolicness of going to an extreme. As Patrick Mahomes' agent, I believe Lee Steinberg, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, even Lee should look here and say, man, Kyler Murray getting more than my guy, and Kyler Murray has no playoff wins? Patrick Mahomes has a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl, and an NFL MVP. Deshaun Watson making more than my guy, and Deshaun Watson has off-the-field scandals, and Deshaun's only won one playoff game? Like, it's not even about ego. There's a point where it's about common sense to me.
But you can't rework your contracts every year because the next person up got paid more than you. That's not how these contracts work. Now, you could argue that maybe he shouldn't have signed a 10-year deal, because maybe he should have signed a 6-year deal or a 7-year deal. But again, to Bucky's point, almost $500 million is going to hit your account over the next 10 years. Not to mention what that status is bringing you away from the field. So there is a cost benefit to this. If you're always the highest paid player, you're not going to have other players around you. And if your goal outside of making money is to also have a legacy, you have to walk that line because it is a salary cap league.
Well, speaking of players who still want to get paid, Bears superstar Roquan